Hey, good afternoon, everyone. Out on another trip, out in the middle of the trail. It's the weekend before Thanksgiving, and planned this trip for a few weeks and was actually headed out to the Smoky Mountains today. And late last night, I checked my email, and the Pisgah National Forest is almost completely opened up. So, made an alternative plan, and I'm right now in the middle of the Pisgah National Forest. It's a long way for where I live in Chapel Hill to get out to the Great Smoky Mountains, so only doing a two-nighter here. So what better way than to go up in the Pisgah National Forest in northwest North Carolina. So not quite so far for a trek for me. So it's been a while since I've been out, so I really want to just get out, do some camping, hiking down to the creek here, and don't know what to expect when I get down to the creek. You know, we're about 1 month past, actually 2 months past Hurricane Helene. It did go through this area. I had to go a different route to get here, so that was actually pretty cool. We'll talk about that later, some things I saw. Never been on some of those roads, so that was pretty cool. But anyway, I'm going to finish this hike in, and we'll touch base later. And by the way, if this is the first time you're checking in on my channel, thanks for checking in. And if you like what you see, subscribe. And many more adventures coming in the future. Well, I'm still on the trail, and it's been a little slow going. The deadfall's not too bad, but when you get to the deadfall, it's an adventure getting around it, actually over it and under it. The Forestry Service hadn't been back in here. So, but that's okay. I mean, who cares if they never come back in here to cut the trees? Just let the natural deterioration, take its toll on it. But maybe another 30 minutes to go here. But it's just such a gorgeous day out here. Water's just crystal clear. It's a little cold out right now, probably mid 30s, I guess. But anyway, we'll keep walking, and hopefully the spot I want to camp is not taken. So we'll check in later. We'll keep going. Well, I made it to camp. This is an absolutely beautiful camp spot. I'm actually about 50 yards away from the very first backcountry camping trip I ever did. About a little over 3 years ago I did that. I probably would have camped in the exact same spot, but there's a massive tree I'll show later that's right over there. Deadfall from Helene that came through here, and it kind of blocks the view of the creek. Because I got the creek right here. Set up a fire, build a fire pit back over here later. Pretty much over here, I'm gonna do my tent because there is gonna be quite a bit of wind. It was gusting pretty hard when I first got here, but it's not blowing very hard right now. But I don't want the tent, close to the fire. So, but yeah, it's really cool. Had this massive boulder here, so cleaned it off. It was covered with leaves and some dirt, but cleaned it off. Unloaded my my backpack in there. It's amazing. I can put all that stuff in a 60-liter backpack, but got actually some extra gear. And one of those stuff sacks there is a set of down long johns that my mother-in-law and father-in-law gave me about, 15 years ago, for hunting, deer hunting and stuff. They are so warm. Whenever I car camp, disperse camping somewhere in the winter, which is usually what I do, I put those on and sleep in those. So I was able to compress them into that stuff sack. So that's going to be very nice in the tent tonight. My sleeping bag is rated for comfort at 20 degrees, I think -7 survival rating, so I should be fine there. So But anyway, I'm gonna go ahead and get this tent set up. I need to gather a lot of firewood. It's gonna be in the 20s tonight. So it's gonna get pretty chilly, but good campfire will certainly keep me warm and just chill out here. It's I think it's right at 3 o'clock, and I didn't have any intention of fishing today at all because I knew it was gonna be cold and a little bit cloudy. It was sunny earlier, but it's gotten really cloudy now. There's no rain, at least that I'm aware of in the forecast, but it has gotten real cloudy. But anyway, what an amazing spot here. And like I said, the water's right there. I'll have a campfire going in about an hour or less, and it's gonna be a good evening. So anyway, we'll check back in later. Actually, do a little sneak peek of the creek here. A couple of nice little runs right here. Maybe there's a few wild brown in there, but you can see how Helene came through here. I mean, this whole area here was just covered with water. Look at all the trees that came down. And you see this all down through here as well. But it was definitely an interesting hike in. The deadfall wasn't as bad as I thought, but when you saw it, you had to climb over, climb under. Actually, there was a section of the trail that I couldn't even go down, so I had to actually get in the creek. I had my waders on already because you got to cross the creek a few times. But I got down in the creek and then hiked down the creek, which is a pain in the butt with 45 pounds on your back. But I hiked down the creek until I could get back up on the trail. So it took me longer to get here, but no big deal. Anyway, let's get the tent set up and chill for the evening. Potential problem here. Good thing I got everything closed. That tent was about to blow off. So these are what's going to help me keep really warm tonight. And like I said, it's going to be in the 20s, wind's blowing. So just to make sure, I brought these down long johns. They're amazing. All right, so I thought about something else. Some hot hands. So there's no reason to be cold when you're out here. So I'm actually going to open these two and put 2 of them in my sleeping bag when I go to bed at night. So that'll give some extra warmth. So I might actually get too hot with the combination of the base layer, the down sleeping bag, the down long johns, and then the hot hands in it. And of course the tent blocks the wind. So we'll see if I wake up in the middle of the night hot. But anyway, it's a good experiment to try out. These are all simple things that don't weigh much of anything. You know, the down long johns, the hot hands. So might as well be comfortable when I'm out here. All right, got plenty of firewood, so let's make a fire pit. I think I'll use these 2 rocks. Well, maybe not. That's kind of sloping downhill. I'm going to keep it flat. Try to get 2 at a time to speed up the process. It's probably a good 50, 60 pounds between 2 of them. I have to cut this tree. It's kind of blocking my vision, and I might run into it later. No longer cold now. Actually, I wasn't cold. It was getting a little cold when I first got here. I got a little sweaty, so I took the shirt off that was getting a little wet, and then put some other stuff on. And so I don't want to get doing too much here. I definitely don't want to get sweaty. So just chill for a bit. Looking pretty good. I think that'll do it. A couple of small rocks. All right, let's make a fire. Oh, I'll tell you, what I'm doing right now doesn't get any better than this. Out in the middle of nowhere. And I tell you, I don't think anybody's going to be coming out here. Can probably count on one hand the number of times I've seen people come out here. Ooh, I just saw a nice brown trout just run through that run down there. It's so clear, you don't need polarized glasses to see anything. Tomorrow it's supposed to get up in the 50s and be a perfect sunny day. You know, I'll definitely have to be stealthy because the water's so clear. But, it's going to be really cold tonight. I'm thinking midday tomorrow they may start moving. I'm very curious to see how this is going to fish after Helene. It's small up here, so, this is up in the higher elevation, so all the muck is going to be, way, way down where this thing drains. All right. It's time to make a fire. Stay out here in this part of Pisgah National Forest by this creek, especially this place right here. Anytime you have a lot of rain, the water comes up here and it kills these young, firs. I think they're black balsam, and they're just everywhere. And you just push them down about the size of your arm, some of them about the size of your leg. And some of them are even smaller, and they have all these little small twigs. So it's so easy to get firewood around here. Of course, you can find some hardwood too. There's plenty of it right now, and there's going to be plenty for years to come after Helene dropped stuff everywhere. So. That's the beauty of having this saw here. This saw has just been amazing. This is the Agawa Boreal 15 saw. I mean, it's great. Wife got it for me 3 Christmases ago, I think. And man, I've put it to good use. It's great. All right, we are rolling. These are some of those trees that I was telling you about. I mean, it burns like paper, but it's super dry. You can put a lot of that stuff on there, and then you can even put some green wood on later. And of course, I brought a couple of beers. A Leinenkugel Summer Shandy. I stocked up because they'll probably stop selling it soon in the grocery stores with winter coming. I didn't have to put them in the creek though. They just sitting out with it being 30-something degrees. Going to the higher altitude, man. Yep, it's good and cold. Cheers. Wow, it's been a busy day. Very busy day. So yesterday, I worked all day yesterday. Packed up all the gear last night, and then picked my wife up from the airport at midnight. So didn't get into bed till about 1:30 a.m. Woke up at 6:30 a.m. Was out the door about 7:15. And I made it here in good time. I mean, I was very happy. I had to take an alternative route here that I've never been on before. But the hike in was a little tougher than usual. Usually I just bulldoze through. But, you know, like I mentioned earlier, the deadfall created a lot of challenges. But, and of course, setting everything up, getting a lot of firewood, building a fire pit. Now I can relax. Drink this beer, and then I'm going to eat something. Got 4 peak refills for dinner. Dinner and lunch over the next couple days. while that wind's picking up. So a new accessory I have for out here with me on these adventures is I purchased a wireless mic. So did some testing of it last night. It actually came in last night, and figured it out pretty quickly. It's just kind of a plug and play, and yeah, it's really amazing. When I make videos in my office at home, I have a terrible echo. No matter what I'm using, GoPro, regular camera, iPhone, it doesn't matter. But I hook the mic up, test it with my phone and my GoPro. No echo at all. It's just amazing. I just remembered I need to go hang the bear bag. I don't want to be doing that in the dark. I had to go find a tree. I think I see a couple trees here hanging over the creek. I'd like to hang it over the creek. Make a good limb right there. All right, that is a good spot. That's probably a good 150 yards, 200 yards. Maybe I'll step it off when I come back. All right, got that hung. Let me go show you where it is. And also so you can see what Helene did pushing all these trees down this creek. I mean, pretty amazing. Look at that wall of trees. No telling how far that came. The force of water. It's pretty amazing. See, I was here, I don't know, maybe about a year ago. A little longer than that. I haven't camped down here and I haven't fished down here in about a year and a half. But man, this was not like this before. It's like completely changed the creek, this massive boulder field. Yeah, there was boulders here, but nothing like this. I think I can remember sitting on this big rock, either this one or that one there, having some breakfast or dinner one time. yeah. The water that came down through here was crazy. Look at all that. That's where the bear bag's gonna hang. So, no bear's gonna get over that. So, sun setting. It's time to go eat. Nice little run through there. Just start there in the morning and just go. Go and go and go. Good stuff. Yeah, I've camped right up there before, but you can see that large tree through there. It kind of blocks the view, so just pick the next good looking spot. So anyway, I'm gonna go finish my beer and cook some dinner. Oh, that's a juicy looking spot there too. Ooh. Well, that wasn't very good. A little safety for you. This limb was underneath that right there. Gotta go get some more water now. Gonna have a little Peak Refuel American Buffalo Goulash. Hadn't tried this one yet, but looks pretty damn good. Ground bison with macaroni pasta and tomato herb sauce. Yeah, sounds pretty damn good. So we'll see. Yeah, that's good. American Buffalo Goulash by Peak Refuel. Yeah, that's very good. It's got some spice, got some salt, pepper, tomato. Yeah, it's very tasty. Very, very tasty. I'm going to tell you, I was hungry. I had coffee this morning on the way out here, a Cliff Bar, and a pack of tuna when I got to the campsite. And a beer. That's it. Good stuff. Actually got a little bit of beer left. I got another one in the creek, but you don't have to worry about it getting hot. It's still ice cold. Occasionally I get a bar on my cell phone, so I have to check and see what the temperature is. Let's see if it'll... Yep, it's showing 5G. Let's see what the temperature is. When I first got out here, it had a bar, but then it went away when it got real cloudy. It's probably not very strong now. Let's see. It's amazing you can get cell coverage here. Yeah, I don't think it's going to work. It's probably a false bar. Let's sit there a minute. Don't want to drop any food down here. I know the bears are not hibernating, so I saw plenty of bear hunters. I'm quite sure they're bear hunters because they had the dogs when I was driving in. I saw a pack of 6 trucks close to where I parked, and then coming in earlier on a couple of the other forestry roads, I saw 2 or 3 trucks there too. I mean, they could be running dogs for deer, but highly unlikely. I mean, it's bear season. They're not hibernating yet, so. But yeah, I always see them up here. Actually, this part of the Pisgah, and when I'm further west, I see them a lot. So, well, yeah, this thing's not gonna pull it up. So, oh well. Anyway, well, I'm going to finish eating here and then chill. I'm sure I'll call it a night early. It's 6:07 right now, so it's still very early. But anyway. With it going to be so cold tonight, I always bring plenty of coffee, but I don't want to drink coffee at night, so I want to be able to sleep. So I brought some tea. I just made some hot tea, and but I mean, I've got a good fire going. I've had that fire going, now it's 7:30. So good and warm. And got some hot tea here. So that hit the spot. I tell you, it is dark outside. I mean, it is really dark. Let's see, was that yesterday? There was about a 3/4 moon out. So, I mean, I guess it's still pretty early. So, there's probably going to be a moon out. So, but this day went just as planned. Figured it might be a little bit of an adventure to get out to the creek here. Since Hurricane Helene came through a couple of months ago. And yeah, it certainly was a little bit of a challenge, but I managed just fine. And spent a lot of time gathering firewood and, ate some dinner and just been sitting out here chilling. Every now and then the wind will gust. I mean, gust pretty hard. A couple of limbs just, right behind me fell hard. I was looking up. When I put my tent down, I made sure there was no, rotten limbs or anything like that. So I think I'm pretty good there. There's always a little twig might fall, but the wind's not supposed to blow heavy in the middle of the night, so hopefully that stays the course. I mean, that's always a high risk when you're at a campground. Yeah, the national forest, make sure everything is all the dead trees and limbs are always removed. Even when you stay at a Smoky Mountains backcountry campsite, they're designated. They do the same thing. They make sure everything is cut. But when you're just in the middle of the forest, you got to really make sure that you, get somewhere where you're not underneath a tree that's rotten or, there's limbs up in the tree. So, but. So earlier today, driving in, I know how to get to this area and I don't need my GPS, but I certainly ran the GPS for this trip, and it actually, identified 3 different routes. I was familiar with some of the roads, but I'd never been on those roads. One of them took me down some roads that I had been on before, but I was like, I'm going to take this other route. They were all about the same. And that was that. I chose the right route because I didn't know this, but as I was going down, went from a paved road, then it went to a forestry road, okay? And that forestry road was really hit hard. I would imagine that it took weeks and weeks for those roads to be cleared. I mean, it was trees everywhere. But as I got further, had to make a couple other turns, and then I discovered one of the roads I had to go on was a road that runs along a creek. And I've heard about that creek, and I've heard it's good fishing, but I have never gone and looked for it yet. There's just always so many other places I want to fish up here. But that road went along that creek, and that creek is beautiful. So a good portion of it is public land. So I'll definitely, it just runs right along the road, and it is absolutely beautiful. Real small, but a good clearance. It's kind of, to some extent, gorge-like. So I look forward to going back and fishing that creek. I've heard it's loaded with wild rainbow. But hey, that'd be a lot of fun. You know, it's such beautiful water, and I think I can actually fish my long rod so I can get some good reach. But there was a lot of plunge pools, some good little runs and everything. So it was really good to go to a different route, and yeah, definitely fish that in the future. So, but anyway, I'm gonna finish this tea here and maybe have a little bourbon and probably get into bed early tonight. That's for sure. So. All right, I think I'm going to call it a night. I hung the bear bag and actually hung my backpack. I normally don't hang my backpack, but earlier today, one of the beers I was carrying in was punctured. Yep, punctured by a twig, actually more than a twig, a short stick. I was crawling on my hands and knees under some deadfall, and then I kind of got caught, backed up, tried it again, and finally I got myself through. But as I was getting through, a sharp stick punctured that beer and shot beer all over the outside of my backpack and in the water bottle holder. Thank goodness it wasn't inside the backpack. So anyway, I took about 5 minutes and took the pack off real quick, got the beer out of there, and finished that beer off before it completely emptied out. But needless to say, my backpack, I'm not going to put it in my tent like I normally do, so it's hanging up with the food bag. There's no rain in the forecast anyway, so you know, I'm not worried about that. But anyway, I'm going to call it a night, and hopefully you know, by late morning, temperature's up to close to 50, and we can get on some wild brown back here. Anyway, take care, and we'll talk in the morning. All right, an unexpected pit stop. So as usual, I always bring 3 or 4 beers. So as I'm hiking in here, there's deadfall everywhere. And so I had a tight squeeze, you know, under trees, over trees. And as I got through it, I smelled something. I'm like, what is that smell? And it was beer. You can see that hole right there. It got punctured in the pocket of my backpack. Luckily, that's on the outside, so nothing on the inside will get wet. But anyway, I'm not going to let that whole thing waste, so I was able to get it out of there, and I'm going to finish that beer off here right in the middle of the trail. So anyway, that's the way things roll out here. Well, good morning. What a beautiful day. God, it's beautiful. So I went to bed at 9 o'clock and fell asleep pretty quick. But I'm gonna tell you, I woke up quite a few times. The wind blowing really hard in the middle of the night, different times. And several times I heard some sticks falling, probably within 10, 15 yards from the campsite. That's always the worry that I have, is a tree fall, a big limb fall on the tent, something like that in the middle of the night. Yeah, that wouldn't be a good thing, but that's just one of the risks you have out here. I always check the trees, but thank goodness no big tree fell on me last night. So, but, quite frigid this morning. One thing that I discovered is I was using my new mic this morning, just making sure it still works, and it's froze up. So I guess it's too cold for it. Worked great yesterday, but this morning, the receiver's froze up. Can't turn it on, can't turn it off. Plug the charger into it for about 15-20 minutes. So oh well, that's just the way it goes. I've only had it for 2 days. But anyway, maybe it'll start working later. I got it in my pocket, so maybe that will help it out. So ready for a cup of coffee, get some breakfast, and just get on the water. It's actually warming up really nice here in the sun, so I'm comfortable. Oh, and by the way, did not get cold at all last night. With the down long johns over a winter base layer, and I had the hot pocket in the sleeping bag. All was good. So that's good to know. It's worth carrying that. Whatever that weighs. It's not very much, but put it in a stuff sack and press it down. So anyway, water's almost finished boiling. We'll get some coffee going. Oh, that smells good. I do a little mixture of a cappuccino type instant with taster's choice. Kind of gives me a little bit of cream and sweetness. Actually going to add another taster's choice to this to strengthen it up a little bit. Works out nice. It's actually pretty good. Alright, I actually got my mic working. Figured I'd give it another try. I held the switch in for, probably a minute. Eventually it turned off. It was actually locked into display mode, and it was connected to the mic. Actually, the receiver is the one that was locked, and it was showing, in display mode, but it would not do anything. So held it for about a minute, and it finally turned off and turned back on, and it's working just fine now. So thank goodness for that. I guess it had something to do with the cold weather. It's just my guess. But anyway, we're going to get the rod set up now. I'm just going to hook one rod up. Sometimes I'll carry both rods. But I think I'm just going to keep with the one rod. I'm going to move very, very fast through here, just looking to find some fish, right? I mean, there's plenty of them in here. I've landed plenty of wild browns on all my trips. So, but, with the storm that came through a couple of months ago, and of course the cold weather is here now. But I'm telling you, I'm not cold at all. I haven't needed the gloves. The sun, man, God, it just warms it up so fast. The second rod, it's actually a 7'6" rod. It's my short one, but it's mainly with me in case I break this rod. I have to add a little bit more tippet to this leader. Looks pretty short. It's supposed to be in the low to mid 50s today. So, I mean, the air temperature right now sitting out here, like I said, it's very comfortable. I'm layered up. So I'm hoping that helps with the fishing. Doesn't do any good to come out and chase these wild fish early, so casual morning. Alright, I think I'm going to start out with a black chubby and a jig style rainbow warrior. We'll see how that works out. Fish probably haven't seen much activity in a while. This doesn't work, and I'll switch to another chubby. I mean, pretty much everything's probably going to be hitting on the nip, but we'll see. With it warming up out here, we could have some dries. I would certainly switch to something like a caddis or something like that if they start hitting the chubby. But if they're not hitting on something with a little flash down below, then I'm going to switch to something natural like a hare's ear, zebra midge, something like that. Just using the natural fly at the top as an indicator. The water is not very deep anywhere, so of course there's some deeper pools and stuff, but we'll just have to play it by ear. Kiss them about somewhere between 12 and 18 inches on the dropper. I'll try out some pheasant tails today too, of course. Those always work very well. And then some Frenchies, pink Frenchies, lime green Frenchies. I've also got some purple haze, dries, and then some purple chubbies. Purple chubbies worked well when I was in the Smokies. Hopefully you've seen that trip. It's a good trip with my buddy Mike. If you hadn't seen it yet, go check it out. All right, I think we're good. Put the contacts in later before I go. Nice deep pool there. Don't see anything. There's got to be a couple of fish just laying down there somewhere. Well, that was the first hit of the day. It actually came up on the dry. What I'm hoping is in this sunny water here, it's the first sunny spots I've gotten to that they'll start biting and moving. I got a purple chubby and a prince nymph on down below. It's funny, he came up and hit the purple chubby. A little bitty brown. Couple more casts. Move on up. Oh, there we go. Oh, I wasn't prepared for that. I was just moving to take a step, and he hit the prince nymph on the bottom. So, but that's you know, a good sign there. If I can stay in the sunny waters, that's 2 hits in just 10 feet in the sunny water. So the water's probably, I'm not going to say it's warming up because it's moving, but something about them hitting in the sun. I just never really had the hook set. I doubt if I get another shot at that one, but it's a good run. There's probably a few in here. Just keep moving moving fast. Well, it makes a big difference when the wind is behind you. It's so easy to cast. You just flip it out. Let's hope it stays that way. Wind's changing on me. It's blowing dead into my face now. I'm gonna have to wait until the wind stops gusting to cast each time. All right, pink chubby with a black zebra midge. I did get some hits on the Prince nymph. Should have actually landed one. It kind of caught me off guard, but 3 total hits is all I've had today. Let's try something a little more natural, the zebra midge. Just thinking the Prince nymph worked pretty well, but I'm just going to try a bunch of different things. Might hit something hot. At this point in the trip, it's just get at least one in the net. I knew it'd be tough fishing, but sometimes you never know. Tough fishing plus Hurricane Helene, cold weather. Hooked on something. All right, so I put a olive woolly burger on here, and I'm gonna run it through this spot here. I'm gonna go back to the left. There's another deep pool, and then there's. All right, I'm gonna run a streamer through this hole. Remember, a year or two ago, I caught a big rainbow running a streamer through here. Of course, different time of the year. Water wasn't so clear then, but we're gonna give it a shot. Got a few deep pools down in this area, so see something grabs on it. All right, so far I'm skunked. Wind's died down here, and a good sunny spot here. I thought I'd sit and have some lunch. It's a little after 2, I believe, and so I'm gonna eat some lunch here, and then I'll keep going upstream a little bit. It goes into a much more canopied area. So maybe there'll be something different there. You know, I had 3 hits. I haven't seen any fish at all. I was hoping I'd see some fish in some of these sunny spots that I've been fishing, but none at all. So anyway, so I'm gonna keep going up after I eat, and yeah, all I want to do is land one fish at this point. I knew it'd be pretty tough going, but hope to land at least one. So anyway, check back in later. So if you like curry and you like coconut, this chicken, rice, and coconut curry by Peak Refuel is excellent. I eat this one over and over. Almost one every trip. I'll mix in some other things depending on how many nights, but this is a really good one. It's loaded with chicken. It's got carrots in it as well. It's very good. Switched up to a black chubby and a number 16 pheasant tail after lunch. It's approaching 3 o'clock right now. It's going to be canopied all the way through the rest of the way here. I'm also fishing this one a little deeper. It's close. It's probably about 24 inches. It's got a bead head on it, so. And I know I got some lead wraps underneath it, so it should get down pretty quick. This little run usually holds fish. You usually see them swimming around at the bottom, but I didn't see anything. I watched it a little bit before I threw my first cast. Didn't see anything. Hoping something is just tucked underneath those rocks there. This huge rock right there. There we go. He's just a little bitty wild brown, but I got one in the net. I'm not skunked now. Let's get him in the water. Oh, yeah, there we go. All right. Not bad. It's about 8 inches. Right on the back. Hey, good evening. It's a crystal clear night and just perfect evening. Got a good fire going, got plenty of firewood. Gathered it up in case it gets a little cooler tonight. The wind's changing on me. You gotta hate that. Anyway, yeah, it's crystal clear, man. When I walk out over the creek there, away from the fire, I mean, there's so many stars. You know, last night it was cloudy. Actually, when I got up to go to the bathroom one time, sometime, I think it was 11:45, and I walked out towards the creek, looked up, and it was cloudy, and there was actually snow flurries coming down. I mean, it was very, very fine, but but not tonight. I mean, it is crystal clear. But it was a good day. I mean, I knew I wouldn't, I didn't think I'd have that much success, catching fish, because it's gotten cold. And of course, Helene had come through here, but I had so few hits, I can remember them. I think I had 6 hits, but I did get 2 in the net. I think the first one was 3 or 4 inches, and then the other one was pretty nice. I said 8 inches, but it was probably pushing 9-10 inches. So both wild brown. So that was good. The 2 that I landed were both on Frenchies. Beadhead Frenchie size 16. I'm sorry, not a Frenchie. A pheasant tail. A beadhead, gold bead, size 16. Each one of them had a little UV resin up on the wing casing there to give it a little extra, pop. But natural colors. The first 3 of the day was on a print sniff, actually a purple print sniff. I had a purple chubby with a very small size 16 print sniff, with just a little purple thread. So, did have 3 hits on that, and then I finished the day. I added a Frenchie on the bottom of the black chubby when it got a little darker, and didn't get any hits on there, but still, good day. It's just out enjoying the weather. I mean, it was a crystal clear day. Got a chance to eat lunch on the creek. Found a good sunny spot to where I could sit out there and have some lunch and some coffee. So it's a really good day. Let's see, what time is it? It's 7:30 right now, so I'm getting ready to cook some dinner. Finished off my Leinenkugel Summer Shandy, and then just been sipping on a little Buffalo Trace bourbon. So going to finish that off. So the more food, the more drinks I finish off, the lighter the bag is. So, gonna chill here for the evening. Got some good hardwood that's a little bit seasoned. One of them is a little bit green, so that's what I put on there. So it's gonna burn good and slow, and good and hot. So I'm sure I'll get in bed early tonight. Again, with it being 7:30, it probably won't be in at 9. It'll probably be close to 10, but glad the wind's not blowing tonight. At least I hope it doesn't get started. I remember checking the forecast before I left. Tonight was supposed to be just, normal wind speed, 5 miles per hour maybe, but waking me up in the middle of the night last night, hearing those limbs crashing, that's probably the thing. I mentioned it this morning, that's probably the thing that bothers me the most is a tree falling on me. So anyway, we'll get some dinner going and just chill for the rest of the evening. Another good peak refuel, home-style chicken and rice. This one is so good. I've had it many times. Man, I just love this one. It's creamy, rich. It's so cool to be able to come in the middle of nowhere. Of course, I can cook fish, catch and cook. But you bring these peak refuel meals, man, it's just like cooking something at home. It's good stuff. Wow. Another beautiful morning. Good morning. Man. Nice crisp morning. Perfect day. No wind. You can see some of the Hurricane Helene wrath over here. Those are all fresh trees that were just uprooted and pushed down the creek. You can see all these little trees. Were just catching stuff as it was coming through. Creek it has a bend down that away, so I guess everything was just kind of building up, and then as it made its turn, it was just coming through this lower area here. Then it gets to this kind of open straightaway here. And this whole area really got opened up. It was never this wide before down here. But it just cleaned out a lot of stuff down through there. And then there's a wall of trees down at the end. I haven't walked down there, but something stopped all those trees down there past where my bear bag is hanging. It's just a massive wall of trees down there. It probably gets smaller, and you probably have more cliffs like here, and that's probably what stopped it on both sides. This was a good home for 2 nights, I'll tell you. It's really nice. The tent tucked away back over there. First time fire pit right here. There wasn't one there, so it's always fun to build your own fire pit. So, yeah. I'm gonna go get the bear bag, make some coffee, breakfast, and then start packing up to get out of here. We'll check back in later. Well, this tank is almost out. I'm going to go ahead and let it go. It normally takes 1 minute to boil some water, about half full. I guess that's normally about a cup. But once it starts getting low, it just it doesn't boil very hot. Yeah, it's trickling. It's steaming a little bit. We'll see if it can make it. I got another canister, so. The sun, I can't tell if it's still burning. Yep, it's still got a flame. If I have to change it, that means it's going to have to cool off before I can unscrew it. All right. I was able to use it the entire time. Didn't come to a rolling boil, but it had bubbles and it's filtered water anyway. I'll let it get to a rolling boil, then I can't drink it for a while anyway. So you get to finish the tank out so it doesn't get wasted. It actually still was burning a little bit, so I'll see if I can get a little boil out of it for my oatmeal this morning. So. Well, I wanted to share a few things that make this experience comfortable for me. The first time I came out on one of these trips, it was kind of like, am I going to sleep comfortable? what do I really need to get so that I'm not skimping on the budget and then I'd be so disappointed and so forth. So before I did my first backcountry trip, I did a lot of research, not trying to break the bank, so I did look for quite a while to find some things on sale. Some things you couldn't get on sale, and in the end, I mean, you can understand it. It's high quality stuff, and the name speaks for itself. But I'll share a few things, some very simple things to some the bigger things. So I picked these string lights up. I didn't have this on my first trip. I think I bought these about a year ago. But they're LED string lights. You've seen a few pictures and maybe some shots in some of my other videos. But it doesn't hardly consume any power of my battery bank. And it's really light. They just roll up and stick in this little sack. Ridge Light's the brand. They're really great. And it's just nice sometimes if you want a little light while you're sitting out here. Yeah, you light it up, and I mean, I've had them running for a couple of hours and really didn't even hardly take a hit on my battery bank. Of course, you got to have a pillow. I've had the same pillow since day one. It holds its air. It's got a valve that keeps the air from coming out when you blow it up, and it's a great little pillow. I mean, I don't remember what it cost, but it was very inexpensive. These lights are very inexpensive too. I think both of these were less than $20. Where I didn't skimp and made sure I got something that was high quality is I got a Thermarest mat. Never could find anything like that on sale. It's just a single person Thermarest. It's been with me for the first trip. I even now use it when I'm dispersed camping. I don't bring some heavy duty foam mattress or anything. It is so comfortable. I mean, if I'm dispersed camping along a forestry road somewhere, or even if I'm at a campground, my vehicle's there, I can pretty much put whatever I want in it. I still use it. It's rolls up so nice, out of the way. So yeah, highly recommend Thermarest, and the durability is amazing. This AquaQuest tarp, you've seen it in action in a few adventures, and I got a chance to use it with two people. Hopefully, you've seen the Great Smoky Mountain trip from back. Actually, it was a couple of weeks before Hurricane Helene. My buddy Mike came with me, and we set it up. Generally, if there's always a % chance of rain, I set it up just so it's there. You could put firewood under it and whatnot. So, but luckily we set it up. We were, drinking coffee one morning and just eating breakfast and visiting, getting ready for the trip. And all of a sudden it started raining. And for 30 minutes, it rained pretty good. So we just threw a bunch of stuff under there real quick and sat under there and visited. So that's the first time I've used it for two people. We had no issue. We weren't cramped or at anything. So this AquaQuest tarp, it's ultra light. I didn't even set it up for this one, but I brought it anyway in case the forecast changed on a dime. But this is another one, high quality. You're going to pay for it, but it's worth it. It's definitely worth it. They got all sides. And probably my favorite favorite item that I bring with me that makes it such an enjoyable experience is I love a good fire, and I don't want to have to just keep burning twigs and you go get some logs and you can't break them. Is this Agawa Boreal 15 saw. This is the 15-inch. They make them where they get a lot bigger, but it folds up very nice. Sometimes I always forget how you set it in gear, and then you got this amazing bow saw. So I always can find good high quality wood, and you got to work a little bit to cut it, but you just cut a little bit over time, drag it over here, and but this saw is a beast. It is such a great saw. Highly recommend it. It's got a little bit of a price tag on it, but it's worth it. It's high quality. It's been with me on every single trip. My wife got it, surprised me for Christmas. Actually, she surprised me with this one Christmas. And I'll actually share this Soto saw. It's got its own igniter, never failed, and folds up. Actually, I think I said Soto saw, Soto stove. This thing is great, and it folds up, really tight. It's 2 pieces. It's perfect. So, and let's see what else. Oh, and one other thing. I bought a really nice flask. Yeah, it's just plastic, of course, but it seals really well. Actually says it's guaranteed, and it's never leaked. I didn't have it on my first couple trips, and what do you know? I had a flask that leaked a little bit, but I always bring some bourbon. You can see it's pretty large, so you can bring a lot, and so it's good, solid, some type of, resin, plastic, but this thing is great. And it's never leaked on me. It's probably been, 15, 20 trips, I guess. So, but really good flask. And it always pack in 3 to 4 beers with me. It's a little extra weight coming in, but you throw it in the creek, and then you finish it off so you don't have that weight on the way back in. So those are a couple of some of the items that just make this an enjoyable trip. They don't really add a lot of weight. You need this stuff anyway. So you want to spend a little extra money on some of the things. Some things you can find on sale. So I thought I'd share that for anybody that's wanting to do this. If you look around, research a little bit, there's some folks online on YouTube that do a lot of reviews of different things like that. But these are the things that really make it an enjoyable experience for me. And and there is one other thing: food. You don't have to eat packages of tuna all the time. Peak refuel. I got one meal left. I won't eat it. This was mainly if I decided to fish or stay out here a little bit longer today before I go back. I a lot of times eat one of these meals before I hike out. But I'm going to pack up here soon and get out of here. But yeah, peak refuel. It says each package is a serving of 2, but for I always eat each meal myself. If you split it with someone, especially 2 men, you would be hungry. So, but for some ladies, they probably, would only eat half of it. So, but anyway, I'm gonna eat some breakfast here and start packing up. So, anyway, we'll check back in later. All right, so I'm determined to use that entire container. I haven't used these canisters. I picked them up at Walmart one day, but it's still got quite a bit of propane in it. And I don't know why, but I mean, it's almost empty, but it's got a reasonable amount. So I'm boiling my water for my oatmeal and another cup of coffee. So I'm determined to use it all. It's just got a little flame, but it's still going and it's starting to bubble a little bit. So anyway, I got some time. But what I thought I would do is actually would share. This weekend's the first time I've used this pair of Corker boots. And so amazing customer service. So I had a pair of Corkers that had a few days. I guess it probably maybe 6 to 8 trips, and that's kind of pushing. It was kind of hard to remember, but this model of corkers had these kind of straps that like lock the heel in. I'm not going to say the model because I'm not really quite sure. They actually don't make it anymore. But I reached out to them because, after only a couple of trips, that strap tore. In North Carolina, we do a ton of rock hopping and so forth. And it's just catching on the rocks and so forth. But, they tore, and I was like, I guess it's just part of it. Well, then shortly after that, the other boot started tearing. And as I progressed, you couldn't lace it up real tight. And then you had to, wrap it around and so forth. And yeah, it worked, but it certainly didn't provide the support that was really needed, just the way that strap was, supposed to really lock it in. So I decided to just send them an email one day and send them pictures. And what do you know? They said, "Hey, we're gonna give you a credit for X amount of dollars, $180. They said, "We don't make that boot anymore, but we'll give you a pair of boots just like it, or you can upgrade. Here's a $180 credit." So I was like, wow. That was amazing. It had definitely been about 2 years since I had purchased them. But like I said, only about, maybe 8 trips. I think it was probably on down on the 6 trips. I wasn't going to the mountains as much as I have over the last 2 years. So anyway, I decided to upgrade. So this is one below their top of the line. I've never had any golf shoes, any other type of boots with this boa design, so I thought I would try them. I've had them for almost a year because I have some Orvis ultralight wading boots, and I'm going to wet wade as much as possible because I have the backcountry skin. So when it's a little bit colder and I'm doing some of the places, I don't really need to get deep into the water. But so this was the maiden voyage of these, and so far really great. Since it was the first time, while I was out on the water, I'd have to tighten up the laces a little bit more. But I actually hiked in with my neoprene gaiters, and until I got to the creek, then put them on with the waders. So they fit great both ways. So so far so good. But wow, what customer service! I never would have imagined. All I was asking for was to send it to them, repair the strap, and then send it back. That's what I asked in my email. And when they said they were going to give me the value of another pair of boots, or just send the other pair of boots that were comparable to those, but they didn't have that strap design that locked the heel in, that was just amazing. So anyway, they have another customer, and I'll continue to buy corkers. I'd always heard good things about them. That's why I bought that other pair. And then, but anyway, check out corkers, their customer service. Be curious to know if anybody else has had that kind of experience with them to where they've replaced something like that. But anyway, good customer service from corkers. So I thought I'd share one item that made this trip particularly enjoyable. So I mentioned it, I think earlier in this adventure, that I brought some down long johns. As you can see, this is a lot of material and would take up a lot of space. It doesn't weigh much, I don't even know if it weighs a pound. But anyway, you know, it was in the 20s the first night, and I don't know if it got below freezing last night because I left my water bottle out here full of water just to see if it would freeze or anything, but it didn't. But the first night it was definitely, you know, cold. So I've got these down long johns. Well, this is how I got them in. I got one of these stuff sacks, actually a wet bag. So I use this wet bag and just stuffed and stuffed and stuffed. And it's going to get smaller than this. So that's still pretty good size. So just keep shoving it down. I'm gonna roll. A little bit of a challenge. Of course, at home you could use your vacuum cleaner and really suck it down to small. I didn't do that. I got it down to a point to where, because if I roll it all the way up, it's a wet bag. The air won't come out. So there we go. It's perfect. So I didn't get cold at all. I had these on each night, of course, with my I had my skull cap on. I do sleep with some fleece gloves, and yeah, I'm completely comfortable out here. So also have a 20-degree comfort level down sleeping bag, and so all that combined, and again, I don't think this is even a pound, but it certainly made this one enjoyable. That was a good test. I was a little concerned on how I would fare with the temperature, but this was an afterthought. I thought about this about 3 or 4 days before the trip. So, yep, got another luxury item to take when it's needed. So, all right, I'm all packed up. Another trip in the bag. What a great campsite. I mean, I really try to always find the best creekside campsite, but this one was amazing. I mean, just one more little glimpse of what I had here. Creekside. You know, built my own fire pit here. There wasn't one here, so built it from scratch. Surrounded by post-Helene damage. Tent was tucked back over here, and I had this cool rock to lay out all my gear when I unpacked it, and of course when I packed it. So that was really cool. So anyway, I got 2+ miles back to the Jeep, and flat going, and then all uphill once I get to the trailhead. So we'll check back in later. If you're just checking in on my channel, thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and many more adventures in the future. Take care. We'll check in 1 or 2 other times as I make it up to the Jeep. What a view that is. Beautiful view. You can see the ridge line up there. Oh, that's probably another at least 3,000 feet, and a view down to the creek. I'm about halfway back to the Jeep. Still another mile to go. And let the climb begin. I love hiking on the trails where few have gone. So few take this trail, sometimes you can't even tell where it is. Whether you need to go left or right. I love it. I think I'm through all the deadfall. I still just have uphill climb left. It just never ends. But I think all the deadfall, if I remember right, I've gotten past it. Yeah, it's been all the way up. All right, this trip is done. I made it back to the Jeep, got all the gear off my back and waders. I hiked back in my waders because I didn't want to change again. So walked about 50 yards away from the Jeep to just drink a beer and enjoy this beautiful view behind me. So thanks for coming along with this trip. It's been an awesome trip. It's great to get back out. Not being out in the woods in October was just dying to get out. So mission accomplished. I did everything that I wanted to do out here. It was just beautiful. So if you're just checking in for the first time, thanks for watching. Please subscribe, and more adventures coming in the future. Happy Thanksgiving, everyone.